Breaking news right now, we have new developments in a deadly shooting investigation that happened at a Bojangles in Palmetto.
That's where we find Atlanta News First Joshua Skinner. He joins us right now, but he's in Fulton County. Joshua, we know one man is facing serious charges.
Yeah, it's a situation that appears to have escalated very quickly at a Bojangles in Palmetto off Roosevelt Highway. An arrest warrant states that 25-year-old Bojangles employee Maurice Evans is alleged to have shot and killed Dominique Goodwin, who is the father of a fellow Bojangles employee. That shooting took place in the restaurant parking lot. Now, that arrest warrant also states that Evans admitted to law enforcement at the scene that he shot and killed Goodman. Now, as to what led this to escalate so quickly, we are still working on that. We thought earlier that Evans might have a court appearance here at the Fulton County Courthouse this morning. We learned just minutes ago that that hearing has not yet been scheduled. They're still in the pre-indictment phase, so we're waiting for word on when that court hearing might be. As for the charges, they're serious. He's facing aggravated assault charges, murder charges, and charges of committing a felony in possession of a deadly weapon. Reporting live outside the Fulton County Courthouse, Joshua Skinner, Atlanta News First.